The time was 9:52 p.m., downtown Orlando. At the end of an inner-city street, under the stilted buzz of a lone street lamp, sat a lonely little watering hole. A dirty, run-down little hole in the wall, but nobody of repute bothered to visit, so it's not like there was a reason to keep it clean, or in repair, or even serve good drinks. The name's Tap-Gracy. I'm a professional private investigator, interior decorator, and licensed hypnotherapist. But right now, I'm just another lonely heart. A sap watching out for a few close friends. We're a motley crew, to be sure. An alien, a moose, and a dragon. We're all a bit down on our luck tonight.
Like, do you have to do a narrative monologue, eh? Yeah, can a dragon drown his sorrows in peace?
Sorry, boys, I'm a private eye. Narratives are my strongest suit, next to my interior decorating skills.
What about solving mysteries and crimes, eh?
Third or fourth suit. I remember when these friends of mine were on top of the world. It was 10 years ago now, and that was the end of one heck of an era.
It was.
Hey, boys, what'll it be?
Barkeep, I'll take a Coke Zero. Boys?
Pineapple juice.
Something that'll put fire in my belly. Malted hopstop with barley and amber wheat, eh?
Coming right up.
Man, what happened to us? How do we all go from A-list movie stars to starving artists in under a decade? What are you complaining about, eh? My brother Took and I never had a shot. At least you get to host a new show. And Stitch, man, come on, son. You practically got your own franchise going. What are you doing here?
Stitch, not yet. Royalties.
Ooh. That's tough, eh?
I remember it like it was yesterday. It started all the way back in 1989.
1989? Dude, you were what, 3 when it happened? How you remember that?
Figure of speech, Vermithrax. As I said, I remember it like it was yesterday. It started all the way back in 1989 when Disney MGM Studios opened. At the dawn of the brand new park, our mutual friend Michael Eisner wanted to showcase the talents and marvels of Disney Studios and Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. What better way to show off Disney than an East Coast animation studio?
Yeah, I remember those days. First, you'd watch a nifty little pre-show starring Robin Williams and the late Walter Cronkite about the process of animation. I think he was made into a lost boy from Peter Pan, wasn't he?
That he was. Back to Neverland.
He would then head down the halls and see the animators at work on the next animated film, bent over their desks, toiling away on every pencil line, every paint stroke, risking carpal tunnel to bring entertainment to millions worldwide. Brave men and women they were, one and all.
That very studio was something else, alright. That was back when the studios were trying to make Orlando the next Hollywood. Ever since Disney MGM and Universal opened in the late 80s, the studios strove to make Florida the East Coast Hollywood that became the hip place to be.
Anyone remember this?
Family Double Dare was produced before a live audience in Nickelodeon Studios, Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida.
I keep that around for when I get nostalgic.
We didn't watch a whole lot of Nickelodeon, you know, back in the day.
Stitch went to Universal. Stitch Ride Jaws.
Closed.
Stitch Ride Back to Future.
Gone, buddy.
Stitch Ride Midterm Blast.
Gone forever, eh?
Stitch Ride Confrontation.
No mas, amigo.
Top Stitch off, please.
Indeed, that was quite the different area, my extraterrestrial friend. A magical realm of fantasy learning about how animation was made. In fact, this was the studio that put out such classics as Mulan, Lilo and Stitch, and Brother Bear. Hence, tonight's motley company.
So, why did it shut down?
Any and all questions concerning the shutdown of the Florida studio are to be directed to our resident know-it-all, Cornelius McKensington.
You know, I have every right to be upset. I swear you two are only using me for my accent. How insulting can you possibly get? Keep it up or we won't nominate you for a BAFTA.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works, much less for podcasts.
Just do it. Alright, fine, whatever.
Alright. The closure of the Disney Florida Animation Studio can be traced back to 4 primary causes. Number 1, the declining quality of the animated film output since the animation renaissance of the 1990s that ended with 1999's Tarzan film. Films like Atlantis and Home on the Range flopped tremendously. Number 2, the deluge in the market of the animated films with all those atrocious sequels. A major animated film by Disney is less of an event when they released Lion King 4 and Cinderella 13 to DVD barely a month earlier. Number 3, wow, that is so annoying.
The rise of CGI animation. DreamWorks, Blue Sky, and yes, especially Pixar, dwarf public perception of hand-drawn animation, rendering Disney yesterday's news. And 4... that's not much better. The Mouse House bigwigs wanted their animation studio to stay closer to their home in California, so they consolidated what was left of their animation revenue, shut down the Florida studio,
Which, by then, was not quite the happening place it once was, let's be honest.
laid off most of the staff, and proceeded to renovate the attraction.
You know, it's too bad they never got to finish that fourth movie they were working on, My Peoples, which is about Appalachian folk art that came to life. Real shame.
Can I go now? I have a date tonight. Fine, but remember, if your pager goes off, you'll be back here within 5 minutes. Capiche? Lord, whatever I did to deserve this, I'm really, really sorry!
You know, we ain't been the magic of animation since it closed up shop. What do they got going on now?
Well, if memory serves me right, it's no longer one fluid transition from one exhibit to the next. You just kind of pick what you want and explore, right?
Affirmative, barkeep. But for the sake of continuity, let's describe it as such anyway.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. You know something, my old partner, Lieutenant SurferClock, used to say that all the time. But then it turned out he was my old foe, Big Boy Surf the Clock. And that mug of yours is awful familiar there, Mac.
You don't say. Really?
Yeah. But he doesn't have your Super Mario Brothers mustache. Just thought I'd point out the surreal coincidence. Quite the coinkydink.
So, what do you do at Animation Studio, eh?
A fine question, Chief. Let's say we start in the production gallery, where you can peruse through some artwork for an upcoming recent animated film from the Mouse House. It doubles as a waiting area for the attraction show Drawn to Animation. The show stars a random cast member and
Me, Mulan's trusty and sexy sidekick.
Organa?
I know, eh? He's like a mini Robert Downey Jr. Oh, and I suppose you're the Cillian Murphy of Mooses? People keep mistaking me for Bradley Cooper, eh? That's supposed to be a compliment to you or an insult to him?
Gentlemen, keep it civil. I can't have you scaring off my customers.
Who else is here? Aside from that British dude. Besides, a moose, a dragon, and an alien in a bar? Yeah, that's not unusual at all, eh?
Be that as it may, the show is only 9 minutes long and glances over the process of creating animated characters with the Red Dragon, complete with cameos from Lilo and Stitch creator Chris Sanders, Mushu supervising animator Tom Bancroft, and Mulan producer Pam Coates. The show concludes with a specially tailored trailer promoting the next big animated film.
You can also check out the ladies who work in the office next to the production gallery, where they sometimes ink and paint the cells that get sold in the Animation Gallery gift shop. It's kind of like being in an animation studio, I guess?
Don't put corks in my salad and tell me the croutons, pal.
Uh-huh.
Down the hallway from the Mushu show, it's a completely different story. Maybe a whole different genre. In any case, a slew of your favorite Disney characters doing their usual meet and greet shtick, like Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Mr. Incredible, Frozone, and whatever animated film they decide to plug. Currently, at the time of this recording, it's Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope von Schweetz.
Oh, and don't forget about the games. The digital coloring station with Kronk, Lumiere's personality test, to see what Disney character you're most like, or the actual coloring station they sometimes put up, with a cast member.
Y'all, I gotta be honest with you. So far, I ain't learning much of anything about the actual process of animation.
I know. We should at least get to see a cameo of Eddie Murphy somewhere.
Eddie Murphy? Who's that? I hear that guy's awesome.
Anywho, for true artists, there is hope. The Animation Academy, where every 30 minutes an artist will instruct you and 50 others to draw a Disney character step by step, line by line, detail by detail.
Better they learn how to draw the old-fashioned way than learning how to design them on a computer, eh? Hey, Runt, you know the rule. We don't talk about CGI here. This is a CGI-free zone. No need to go rehash no wounds.
Well, after the drawing class, then what?
Animation Gallery, where you can peruse through animated backgrounds, Walt Disney's Oscars, and an eventual Disney art gift shop, also called the Animation Gallery.
So, let me see if I got this right. At the Magic of Disney Animation, I can go to the Drawn to Animation show and head to the Animation Station where I can find the Animation Academy and the Animation Gallery, which may or may not be a gift shop.
Affirmative.
Okay, just checking. Say, how do you rate a place like this?
Well, I rate it.
Sorry, folks.
Well, I rate it rather unusually. What do you have in your notes?
I like the Drawn to Animation show. I really do. Mm-hmm. It's nice.
It's definitely a nice, cute little show that definitely works as a diversion. I think the only time it really works as for repeat visits is when you want to see what the next trailer for the next animated movie be, which comes out rather sporadically. They never really know when they're going to get the new one.
Yeah, I think... Aren't they still playing Frozen?
They are.
As the trailer.
Yeah, even though they have all the artwork currently up for Planes, Fire, and Rescue, which at the time of this recording is about 2 weeks from now. And some of the jokes are a little dated, like the whole pilot light calling collect, but there's a few interesting chuckle-worthy jokes.
Yeah, really, it very much glances over the actual process of animation. It talks about one aspect of animation.
Yeah, the character design.
Yeah, not really much of anything else. You don't go into any history, you don't go... It's a very, to me, it's a charming little show, but it's very incomplete as to what it could be.
You know, they talk a little bit about Red Feather, the deleted character from Pocahontas, but what they surprisingly leave out is the fact that they got John Candy to be the voice of Red Feather before he passed away. But they don't mention that in the show.
Oh, be a little morbid.
Well, but it'd be a nice little tribute. And not to mention, how about all the people that are involved have either left Disney, got fired from Disney, have passed on, or retired?
It is a little awkward, isn't it?
A little bit. I mean, I know the show was created 10 years ago, but it's a little uncomfortable to watch now.
I think it's just too extensive to have to refurbish that, so they just kind of stay with the same deal.
I do enjoy the delicious irony of Chris Sanders being surrounded by drawings of dragons, though.
Yeah, there is a little something ironic about that. Maybe he just liked his work with Mushu that much.
Quite possibly. Then the offices. You have the one where the ladies are doing the drawings. That's always cool. You get to see all those toys and stuff that they have in there.
Yeah, there is this one other office too, but it's very threadbar.
Yeah, you have a computer, some magazines, and a screen, whereas the old-fashioned one where they're still incubating the cells looks cool, and there's toys all over the place. And this one where it kind of looks like they do animation now, it's very empty. There's never anyone working in there.
I almost wonder if it's sort of a cynical punch to... To me, that feels almost like, hey, this is the way we used to do it. Ink and paint. It's fun. Look at all these toys. And then you have the CGI way where it's just a computer and maybe a couple screens and some drawings. Maybe it's a very subtle, cynical jab.
It could be. I don't know.
Maybe I'm looking too much into it.
And then you have the rest of the station where you have the characters to meet. Yay, you can meet Mickey and the Incredibles.
Not like you can't do that anywhere else in the park.
Well, the Incredibles no. Or Wreck-It Ralph.
I suppose. It's unique.
And Minnie does have a fairly cute dressing room in there.
Not only that, but do they still have the area with the where it leads up to the meet and greet with Ralph and Vanellope?
Yeah, they still do that.
Okay, because I remember when we first went over there and we saw that, we were just like, oh my gosh, it's so cool! I'm glad that's still there.
Kind of looks like Game Central Station.
Yes. I wonder if that's part of the reason why. It's because people are reacting so positively to it.
It could be. On the other hand, too, that it could very well be on its way out, because they tend to use that area to promote whatever is the current animated film. I remember years going to there before and getting to meet Bowler Hat Guy and Wilbur and Lewis from Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah, and that movie didn't do so hot, now did it?
Winnie the Pooh had a meet and greet there. Up used to be there. Who knows, maybe Big Hero 6 will be next.
That would be pretty cool.
Then there's the drawing class. That one is, quite frankly, the best thing there.
Honestly, it's like the one thing that adults can do, and they want to go back and do it again.
Yeah. I mean, the artists are pretty cool. The drawing class is always fun to go through, and it is very popular. They hold it every 30 minutes, and there's always a line for it.
Yeah, and just not to mention, that's a very unique free souvenir.
Mm-hmm, yeah. It is a little trying, though, because it's almost half an hour long. There's no pencils.
Or no erasers.
No erasers, and it's a little trying for kids, so that's definitely geared towards adults. And then you have the hallway where you can see Disney artwork and some of Walt's Oscars, and that's
the game stations.
Yeah, you can try Lumiere's personality test, but let's face it, you've already done 3 of those on Facebook today already, haven't you guys?
Probably.
And there's the coloring thing with Kronk, which is kind of interesting if you like Kronk.
Yeah, a lot of people like Kronk.
Yep.
To me, this is an attraction there. If you haven't been here before, definitely step inside and check it out, especially if it's raining outside.
Oh yeah, because this is a good place to go if it's raining. It'll be crowded, but it's a good place to go, kill some time. But for me, unfortunately, this leaves a lot to be desired.
It's... Considering what this used to be about, there's very much a void that's being left here.
As soon as you enter the attraction, and before you go to the right through the turnstiles, look to the left and you'll see all these walls and chains of this beautiful Disney art on the walls. It's all chained off. Because that used to be the old entrance of the studio backlot tour. Now it's a rain location for the Disney Junior characters when they come out and do their meet and greets. And to think that that is just empty space there that just doesn't get used, that really kind of hurts me a little bit.
And what value does art have if it's not being looked at?
Yeah. In the middle of the attraction itself, there's its own separate little courtyard where right in the middle there's handprints of some of Disney's greatest artists. That usually gets looked over every time we go there. No one really stops to check them out. They just kind of let their kids run around. Ultimately, this attraction has a really poor layout. It's very directionless, so it's very convoluted. And ultimately, there is a lot of wasted space.
Yeah, I mean, considering that this used to be a full-fledged animation studio,
it
didn't all happen in this one place.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a jumble. And considering what we have now is very much a victim of its own being in a Disney park.
Yeah.
It's got character meet and greets. It does have some of the more requisite Disney stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for something that's supposed to be a tribute to the magic of Disney animation,
it's sorely lacking.
Yeah.
I'm not so hot with the fact that it's used as a plug for new movies and for character meet and greets and a show that really just doesn't do the animation process justice. But for me, I'm just upset that there's just so much wasted potential here. Given the fact that the building does have the Art Deco look of the original studio out in California, I mean, Disney nerds will appreciate that. But if you're talking about something that's about the magic of animation, use that to your advantage. I mean, you can make that look like the Walt Disney Concert Hall in California and see where that goes. It could be beautiful. But it's just an empty building. They're like, draw some Disney characters on that wall and there you go. There it is.
Yeah. Overall, like I said before, it's worth checking out if you haven't seen it yet. And maybe even going back, if just for the drawing class.
And maybe to see the new trailer, that's about it.
But as an overall package, I'm going to go ahead and give this a 2.5 out of 5.
I have to agree. Mine is also a 2.5 out of 5. Great attraction, great potential. Could be something a lot better, and we'd happily armchair Imagineer if given the time.
Definitely. So, that's a 2.5 out of 5 from SurferClock, and a 2.5 out of 5 from TAP-G.
Say what you want, but admit it. At least there's no height restrictions, disability transfers. It's good for everybody, right?
Including reflective captioning and audio description for the drawn-to-animation show.
Well, it may be good for everybody, but not everything there is good for everyone.
How you mean?
Well, kids are more interested in the coloring and the games, but the drawing class and animation gallery are more geared toward adults. The Academy is 22 minutes long of drawing the characters step by step and without an eraser. So I'm pretty sure this is a thing like that would probably try most kids' patience.
And the animation show.
Oh, that's a little bit more for everybody. Some cool facts while being short and lively for kids. Overall, it's a good place to get out of the heat and rain for maybe an hour or two.
Yeah. Well, I think our work is done. Come on, Stitches.
Come on!
Where are you two headed?
DreamWorks is working on How to Train Your Dragon 3. Stitchy Boy's Toothless's stunt double. Yours truly scored a spot as an extra.
Alright. Good night, boys. No driving, got it?
Way ahead of you, man. Night all.
Aloha power, cousins!
I should be moving out too, eh? My agent's having me look at a script called Honey, They Turned the Kid Into a Moose.
Oh, you the kid?
Nope, I'm the father, eh?
Well, it's just you and me, pal. I'll settle my tab. And all of theirs, too.
Fair enough, Mr. Gracie.
There it is again.
There what is?
Fair enough. You said that twice now, and with a certain inflection that I deem highly suspicious.
Is that so?
It is so. So much so that I don't think you're a barkeep at all, are you? Ow! Big boy, surf the clock.
Haven't we done this before?
It does seem familiar.
Should we end this somehow differently?
What do you think?
I'm good with it. I mean, we've only done this only once before, right?
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I'm totally cool.
You'll never take me alive, Gracie!
I should have seen it coming. My old nemesis, Big Boy, surfed the clock. He thought he could drop in on our discussion and eavesdrop on us. Well, I may have dropped the ball this time, but I will get that man sooner or later. After all, I'm Tap-Gracy, where our work is your vacation. And I always get my man. Case closed.